Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Laura, and I need to tell you something that might completely shock you about exercise after 50. Last month, I had a 58-year-old patient come into my office. Sarah had been religiously following the same workout routine for 3 years. She was dedicated, disciplined, and doing everything she thought was right for her health. But instead of feeling stronger, she was experiencing chronic shoulder pain, knee problems, and lower back issues that were getting worse every week. Here's the heartbreaking part. Sarah wasn't lazy or doing anything wrong. She was actually doing exercises that fitness trainers and even some healthcare providers still recommend. The problem? These exercises were slowly destroying her body from the inside out. And Sarah isn't alone. According to the American College of Sports Medicine, over 3.5 million Americans over 50 are injured every year doing exercises they believe are helping them. That's nearly 10,000 people every single day who end up hurt instead of healthy. If you're over 50 and you exercise regularly, or if you're thinking about starting, what I'm about to share could save you from months of pain, expensive medical bills, and potentially permanent damage to your joints. Today, I'm going to reveal the 5 exercises that are secretly sabotaging your health after 50, and more importantly, the 5 exercises that will actually make you stronger, more mobile, and help you feel decades younger. But before we dive in, I want you to do something for me. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because I share life-changing health information every single week, and I don't want you to miss out. Also, drop a comment right now and tell me, what's your biggest fear about staying active as you get older? I personally read every comment, and your questions often inspire my next videos. Let's start with the truth that the fitness industry doesn't want you to know. There are 5 exercises that millions of people over 50 do every week, thinking they're being healthy, when they're actually fast-tracking themselves toward injury and chronic pain. Exercise number 1, to never do, behind-the-neck shoulder presses. The first exercise that needs to disappear from your routine immediately is behind-the-neck shoulder presses. I see this in gyms constantly, and it absolutely breaks my heart because people think they're building impressive shoulder strength when they're actually setting up a perfect storm for disaster. Here's what most people don't understand. After 50, your shoulder capsule naturally becomes less flexible. The space inside your shoulder joint gets tighter, and those 4 small rotator cuff muscles that keep your shoulder stable become more vulnerable to injury. When you press weight behind your neck, you're forcing your shoulder into what we call extreme external rotation. It's like trying to scratch the middle of your back while carrying a heavy grocery bag. Your shoulder simply wasn't designed to handle load in this position. A groundbreaking study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research followed 200 adults over 50 for 2 years. Those who regularly performed behind-the-neck movements had a 340% higher rate of rotator cuff tears compared to those who didn't. That's not a typo, 340% higher. Think about it this way. Every time you do a behind-the-neck press, you're essentially playing a game of chance with your shoulder. You might get away with it for months or even years, but eventually, something's going to give. And when it does, you could be looking at months of physical therapy or even surgery. The tragic part? There are so many safer alternatives that work your shoulders just as effectively without the risk. Exercise number 2, to never do, upright rows. The second exercise that's quietly destroying bodies over 50 is upright rows. This movement looks so innocent. You're just pulling weight up to your chest, right? But appearances can be deceiving. When you perform an upright row, you're forcing your shoulder into what's called internal rotation under load. Picture this. You're reaching into your back pocket to get your wallet, but someone is pushing down on your arm while you do it. That's essentially what's happening to your shoulder joint during an upright row. This position compresses the soft tissues in your shoulder, including your rotator cuff tendons, and something called the subacromial bursa. It's like pinching a water balloon. Keep doing it, and eventually, it's going to burst. Dr. Michael Frederickson from Stanford University conducted a study that tracked shoulder injuries in recreational exercisers over 45. He found that upright rows were responsible for 23% of all shoulder impingement cases in this age group. That makes it one of the most dangerous exercises you can do for your shoulders. But here's what really frustrates me. The muscle development you get from upright rows can be achieved much more safely with other exercises. There's absolutely no reason to take this risk. Exercise number 3 to never do: leg extensions. Now, this next one is going to surprise a lot of people because it seems so safe and controlled. I'm talking about leg extensions, that machine where you sit down and straighten your leg against resistance. Physical therapists used to recommend leg extensions all the time. Heck, I recommended them early in my career. But as our understanding of knee biomechanics has evolved, we've learned that leg extensions are actually one of the worst things you can do for your knees after 50. Here's the problem. When you straighten your leg against resistance in an open chain movement like this, you create something called anterior shear force. Essentially, your shin bone is sliding forward relative to your thigh bone, and your knee ligaments are the only thing preventing this from happening. Dr. Stuart McGill from the University of Waterloo used advanced imaging to measure the forces generated during leg extensions. What he found was shocking. A single leg extension with moderate weight creates up to 6,000 pounds of compressive force on your kneecap. To put that in perspective, that's like having a small elephant sitting on your knee every time you extend your leg. Now, when you're 20 or 30, your knees might be able to handle this abuse. But after 50, when your cartilage has naturally begun to thin and your ligaments aren't as elastic, you're essentially taking sandpaper to an already delicate surface. The result? Accelerated arthritis, chronic knee pain, and potentially the need for knee replacement surgery years earlier than it would have occurred naturally. If you're finding this information helpful and eye-opening, please hit that like button. It really helps me reach more people who need to hear this message. Exercise number 4 to never do: traditional sit-ups and crunches. The fourth exercise that's been quietly damaging bodies for decades is traditional sit-ups and crunches. I know this might be hard to hear because we've been told for so long that these are essential for core strength and flat abs. But here's the truth that the fitness industry doesn't want you to know. Every single sit-up or crunch you do is like taking a hammer to your spine. When you flex your spine repeatedly under load, which is exactly what happens during sit-ups, you create enormous pressure on your spinal discs. These discs are like jelly donuts between your vertebrae, and they're designed to handle compression, not repeated bending. Dr. Stuart McGill, who's considered the world's leading expert on spine health, spent decades studying this. His research shows that each sit-up creates approximately 730 pounds of compressive force on your lower back. That's like having a small piano sitting on your spine every time you crunch up. Over time, this repetitive flexion causes the outer layer of your discs to develop small tears. It's like bending a credit card back and forth. Eventually, it's going to break. And when a disc herniates, it can cause pain, numbness, tingling, and weakness that can last for months or even years. But here's the really frustrating part. Sit-ups don't even work the way most people think they do. They primarily work your hip flexors, the muscles at the front of your hips, not your core. So you're potentially damaging your spine for an exercise that doesn't even achieve its intended purpose. Exercise number 5 to never do: deep squats and lunges below 90 degrees. The final exercise on our danger list might be controversial, but I need you to hear this. Deep squats and lunges that go below 90 degrees can be problematic after 50. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying squats and lunges are bad. They're actually fantastic movements when done correctly. But going too deep can create problems that most people don't realize. As we age, several things happen to our bodies. Our hip mobility often decreases, our ankle flexibility can become limited, and our knees may develop some early arthritis. When you force your body into a deep squat or lunge, you're often compensating for these limitations in ways that can lead to injury. For example, if your ankles are tight, you might lean forward excessively during a deep squat, putting tremendous stress on your lower back. If your hips are tight, you might allow your knees to cave inward, creating dangerous forces on your knee ligaments. A study published in the Journal of Biomechanics found that squatting below 90 degrees increases knee shear forces by up to 40% compared to stopping at 90 degrees. For people over 50, especially those with any knee issues, this additional stress can be the difference between staying active and ending up sidelined with injury. The key is working within your comfortable range of motion. You can still get all the benefits of squats and lunges without going to extremes that your body isn't ready for. Take a moment to comment below. Which of these exercises have you been doing? Don't worry, we're about to fix everything with the 5 exercises you absolutely must do. Now, let's talk about the 5 exercises that will actually transform your health and fitness after 50. These movements are specifically chosen to address the challenges we face as we age while being safe and incredibly effective. Exercise number 1 to do: wall angels. The first exercise you must start doing today is wall angels. This simple movement is like physical therapy for your shoulders and upper back, and it's the perfect antidote to all those years of sitting at desks and looking at screens. Here's how to do it. Stand with your back against a wall, with your feet about 6 inches away from the wall. Press your lower back, upper back, and the back of your head against the wall. Now, raise your arms so your upper arms are parallel to the floor and your forearms are perpendicular to the floor. Like you're making a field goal signal, slowly slide your arms up the wall while maintaining contact with the wall at all times. Go as high as you can while keeping your back, head, and arms touching the wall, then slowly lower back down to the starting position. This might seem easy, but I guarantee that most people can barely do it correctly at first. That's because years of poor posture have tightened the muscles in the front of your body and weakened the muscles in your back. Wall angels work by strengthening your posterior deltoids, rhomboids, and middle trapezius muscles, all the muscles that pull your shoulders back into proper alignment. They also improve shoulder mobility and help reverse the forward head posture that's so common today. Research from the Journal of Physical Therapy Science showed that participants who performed wall angels daily for 4 weeks improved their shoulder range of motion by 23% and reduced their upper back pain by 34%. Start with 2 sets of 10 repetitions and gradually work up to 3 sets of 15. Do this exercise every single day, and you'll be amazed at how much better your posture and shoulder comfort become. Exercise number 2. To do: glute bridges. The second exercise you absolutely must do is glute bridges. Your glutes are the powerhouse muscles of your body, but they're also the most neglected muscles in most people over 50. Here's the problem. When your glutes are weak, other muscles have to compensate. Your lower back muscles work overtime trying to do the job your glutes should be doing. Your hip flexors get tight. Your knees take on stress they weren't designed to handle. Glute bridges are the perfect solution. Lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, about hip-width apart. Place your arms at your sides for stability. Now, squeeze your glutes and push through your heels to lift your hips up, creating a straight line from your knees to your shoulders. Hold this position for 2 seconds, then slowly lower back down. This exercise is incredible because it specifically targets your glutes while also teaching your core to stabilize your spine. Strong glutes are crucial for back health, hip stability, and overall power in daily activities. A study published in the International Journal of Sports Medicine followed 150 adults over 50 with chronic lower back pain. After 6 weeks of performing glute bridges 3 times per week, participants experienced a 42% reduction in pain and a 35% improvement in functional movement. But the benefits go beyond just pain relief. Strong glutes make everything easier. Getting up from chairs, climbing stairs, walking up hills, even just maintaining good posture throughout the day. Start with 2 sets of 12 repetitions and work up to 3 sets of 20. Focus on quality over quantity. Really squeeze those glutes at the top and hold for a full 2 seconds. Exercise number 3 to do: modified push-ups. The third exercise you must incorporate is modified push-ups. Now, before you say, "I can't do push-ups," hear me out. I'm not talking about military-style push-ups that drop you to the floor. I'm talking about modified versions that work for your current fitness level. Push-ups are hands down one of the best exercises you can do. They work your chest, shoulders, triceps, and core all at the same time. They're also a fantastic indicator of overall health and functional fitness. The Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health conducted a study that followed over 100 firefighters for 10 years. They found that those who could perform more than 40 push-ups had a 96% lower risk of cardiovascular disease, compared to those who could do fewer than 10. But here's the beauty of push-ups. They're completely scalable. You can start with wall push-ups, progress to incline push-ups using a bench or step, then to knee push-ups, and eventually to full push-ups. The key is finding the right level of challenge for where you are right now. For wall push-ups, stand arm's length from a wall, place your palms flat against the wall at shoulder height, and push your body away from the wall and back. For incline push-ups, use a bench, step, or even your kitchen counter. The higher the surface, the easier the exercise. The goal is to find a variation that allows you to complete 8 to 12 repetitions with perfect form. As you get stronger, you can progress to more challenging variations. Comment your biggest takeaway so far. Are you surprised by any of these exercises? Let me know in the comments below. Exercise 4. To do. Bird dogs. The fourth exercise you must do is bird dogs. This movement is fantastic for core stability, back strength, and coordination. All things that become increasingly important as we age. Start on your hands and knees in a tabletop position. Your hands should be directly under your shoulders, and your knees should be directly under your hips. Keep your spine in a neutral position, not arched, not rounded. Now, simultaneously extend your right arm straight out in front of you and your left leg straight back behind you. Your arm and leg should be parallel to the floor, creating a straight line from your fingertips to your toes. Hold this position for 5 seconds, then slowly return to the starting position and switch sides. This exercise might look simple, but it's incredibly challenging when done correctly. Bird dogs teach your core muscles to stabilize your spine while your arms and legs move independently, which is exactly what you need for everyday activities like walking, reaching, and lifting. They also improve your balance and proprioception, which is your body's ability to sense where it is in space. This becomes increasingly important as we age because it helps prevent falls. A study published in the Journal of Back and Musculoskeletal Rehabilitation found that bird dogs were one of the most effective exercises for improving core stability and reducing back pain in older adults. Participants who performed bird dogs regularly for 8 weeks showed a 45% improvement in core strength and a 38% reduction in back pain. Start with 2 sets of 8 repetitions per side, holding each position for 5 seconds. Focus on keeping your hips level and your core engaged throughout the movement. As you get stronger, you can increase the hold time or add more repetitions. Exercise 5. To do. Seated rows. The final exercise you must do is seated rows. This exercise is the perfect counter to all the forward-hunched postures we adopt throughout the day, from driving, computer work, and general daily activities. You can perform seated rows with a resistance band, a cable machine at the gym, or even a towel wrapped around a sturdy table leg. The key is the movement pattern, not the equipment. Sit tall with your chest up and shoulders back. If you're using a resistance band, wrap it around your feet or a sturdy anchor point. Pull your elbows straight back while squeezing your shoulder blades together, then slowly return to the starting position with control. Seated rows strengthen your rhomboids, middle trapezius, and rear deltoids, all the muscles that help maintain good posture and shoulder health. They also work your biceps and help improve grip strength, which research shows is strongly correlated with overall health and longevity. A study published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that older adults who performed rowing exercises twice a week for 12 weeks improved their posture by 32% and significantly reduced their upper back and neck pain. But the benefits go beyond just pain relief. Strong upper back muscles help you stand taller, breathe better, and feel more confident. They also make everyday activities like lifting groceries or reaching overhead much easier and safer. Start with light resistance and focus on perfect form. Aim for 2 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions and gradually increase the resistance as you get stronger. Remember, it's not about how much weight you can move, it's about quality movement and consistent progress. Quick progress check. How are you feeling about these exercises? Are you already thinking about how you can incorporate them into your routine? Let me know in the comments. Let me give you a comprehensive recap of everything we've covered today, because this information could literally save your joints and transform your quality of life. The 5 exercises you should never do after 50 are behind the neck shoulder presses, which put your shoulders in a vulnerable position and dramatically increase your risk of rotator cuff tears. Upright rows, which compress the soft tissues in your shoulders and can lead to impingement. Leg extensions, which create dangerous shear forces on your knees. Traditional sit-ups and crunches, which can damage your spinal discs. And deep squats or lunges below 90 degrees, which can overstress your joints if you lack the mobility to perform them safely. The 5 exercises you absolutely must do are wall angels, which improve your posture and shoulder health. Glute bridges, which strengthen the powerhouse muscles that support your entire body. Modified push-ups, which provide total upper body conditioning. Bird dogs, which build core stability and coordination. And seated rows, which counteract poor posture and strengthen your upper back. Here's your action plan. Starting today, eliminate those 5 dangerous exercises from your routine completely. No exceptions, no, just one more time. Your joint health is too important to gamble with. Then, begin incorporating the 5 safe, effective exercises I've shown you. Start with 2 to 3 sessions per week, focusing on perfect form rather than intensity. Remember, consistency beats intensity every single time, especially after 50. These exercises will help you build functional strength, improve your posture, reduce pain, and most importantly, keep you active and independent for decades to come. This isn't about becoming a bodybuilder or impressing anyone at the gym. This is about moving better, feeling stronger, and maintaining your quality of life. If this video has opened your eyes to safer, more effective ways to exercise after 50, please hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. You might literally save someone from months of pain, or even surgery. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on, because next week, I'm going to share the exact step-by-step workout routine that incorporates all 5 of these exercises, plus how to progress them safely as you get stronger. Also, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know. Which exercise surprised you the most? Which one are you most excited to try? And what's your biggest challenge when it comes to staying active after 50? I read every single comment and often create new videos based on your questions and concerns. Remember, it's never too late to start taking better care of your body, but it's also never too early to start doing it the right way. Important disclaimer: the information in this video is for educational purposes only and should not replace professional medical advice. Always consult with your healthcare provider before starting any new exercise program, especially if you have existing health conditions, injuries, or concerns. Listen to your body, start slowly, and progress gradually. Your body is the only one you'll ever have. Treat it with the respect and care it deserves. Stay strong, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.